Hello and welcome. It is that of the 27th of October 2018. Welcome to the Money Charts channel. And sometimes you can go long periods of time without a trade and then have a couple come in and then boom, just a decent amount considering it hasn't been, as far as market conditions, that volatile for trade volume for myself. However, on October the 25th at 12:22 p.m. Eastern Time, I ended up buying Komodo at 21.11. Didn't trade at all yesterday. Today, not until 2:20 p.m. or 1400 hours, I got a sale of VIA. And then AGI got a buy about a little over an hour later. I just finished off my dinner, and I see that Lend sells for me at 368. POA buys at 0.105. It took two buys to finish it off. EVX was a buy. BCPT, that is a buy. And then AppC, well, it's a sale at 1269. So let's take a look at these codes. Let's start off within the V. Well, first off, I'm curious about Bitcoin, but we're going to start off with VIA most likely. And let's first take a look at this here. Let's sort this out by gainers. Lend is up 23% at 361. Just beautiful. And Cloak, I'm waiting for that to buy in pretty soon, but it hasn't yet for me. It's got a decent bit to go for me. I can't remember where my buy order happens to be. And is Bitcoin changing its trend? Not really at 6,400. No, it's It's 5:48 p.m. Eastern Time. And what's the volatility for the day? 20 points over 64, but 20 points below that. Almost, and not quite, 40 points volatility today. Inside day, yes, that is just crazy. All right, let's take a look at the altcoins. And VIA is the first one. I'm kind of regretting this now. I sold it at 77.96, but I was going to put a sell order just below the 90 number after that. And I was actually going to sell some more at 85. And then I thought, no, I'm going to go for a bit more. So after that sale, I've inserted buy and sell orders amongst such. And, it got close. The high was 9185 and I had 9222. I got maybe a little too greedy on that. I'm not going to change it. But you know what? I am going to change it. I'm going to sell a bit more instead and try to move it up to about 10832. Sounds good to me. So this will be nothing for me to do until it makes a move really in an aggressive range, because the differential for me, from top to bottom, it's about a 70%, 65% volatile move. But a sale at this previous high, if it's going to come back up to this level here, I think it's going to take it out. So that's why that's a decent leg higher to a previous point. Now I'm watching my luck, 10.75 top. Hey, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but the market's always going to do what it's going to do. I think this has got a decent setup still moving forward. What I've done is I've sold 10% more than I'm selling 10% more than I did. So I increased the amount that I sold. So instead of selling for like a 15 or so percent gain, I'm selling for well over a 20% gain. So that's the reason why I'm selling a bit more now. So let's take a look at the next one. And that's AGI, which was a buy at 861. So obviously I sold at this upper end and getting a buyback amongst such, as I like this pattern in here. If this fails amongst this 18 on this correction, I'm going to be very concerned, however. But for now, it's now back within its correctionary phase as far as my next orders for buy or sell. I'm going to put a sell order back at the previous high of 979 and a buy order back to an area for where it came from it would be in at 751. Next up is Lend, and it didn't work out too well, but it's still, I got a trade. The high for the session is in at 412, but I got 368. Okay. So now this is a situation of selling it for, well, where do we find key levels? If I look back at this congestion area here at about 300, then that would work out pretty well for me, I think. So that's the area where I'd be looking to buy, and that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to be then looking to sell. Well, if it gets past this point, let's try for previous high in here, decent leg. Probably about 460. So 304 I'll be buying, and 459 I'll add another sell order in. EVX next was a buy at 8,010, with the low being 8,005, so pretty much at the bottom. And I obviously sold at this higher end point in here to do so. So maybe it's going to continue the range bound market, but I'm definitely going to be putting my sell order back at the previous high. As far as where my next buy order would go, well, if it's going to break this level, where's the next key point? And we got an area here around 72. It could even pierce into this little point, 7,000. So 7,000, a little over that, is where I would place, and I will be placing my order. I'll pause the tape now, and in just about 1 second your time after stating this, you'll see lines on the screen. And now I wait. It's either going to have to come up to here or down to here. Next coin, that's out of Block Mason Credit, ticker symbol BCPT. And this was bought in at 1622. So pretty much at the current area as far as the low for the day right now, 1610, so relatively close. And now that it's coming down to the 18 average of lows, it's going to be an interesting situation how this thing is able to hold. It can easily pierce below it and go down to the area of 1480, even dipping below it a bit to 1440.50. I'm going to look at the mathematics at 1450. That's 200 points. That's more than 10%. So that's pretty much where the buy order would be. As far as an area to sell, previous high right now. What type of volatility is this? Well, if I go up to about 19.5, that's very good volatility. So that's basically what I'm going to be doing. And so it be. 1947 at the sale. If it goes down to 1426, it'll be that of a buy order. And all these coins against Bitcoin are priced in X. They're all worth the same for me. So whatever is required to sell at 1947 is what I will do. So look, I'm looking at selling 20% of what I own up here. And then on the way down, I'm looking to buy back like 15% more. But that's the basics upon that. And with Binance Coin, it's all of these coins with the exception of Komodo. But from VIA all the way up, they're all minimum base coins. So we got two more to go. We got a buy with POA, and then we got a sell with AppC. So the buy on POA is at the 10 handle, 1005. And right now we're looking at a short-term range-bound market. I'm seeing heavy resistance right around the 1140-ish number. And that's like 11.5%. That's fine enough. That's about the minimum that I would want to go for. But that's pretty much what I'm going to be taking. Sell about 10% of what I own. And then, of course, we're looking to buy back. Well, I'm already back at this key level in here. Back to this low. Our previous low is here as well. What's this level here? 90? Okay, how about around 85? 85 would be about a 15% reduction. So that's where we're going to go from there. And again, the waiting game will just continue because to me, it's had a nice little up move, and it's done a good job to get above this level of established resistance in here. question mark. Can it hold and stay in this area of support, even that above the line at 944? Successful if it does so. It has done a short-term range right now of where it is on the bottom area, but definitely something that's got potential moving forward. But we can see that the size of these moves on these coins can be so magnificent that yeah, I'll just wait and see how it goes. But it's going to happen where you're going to have 5, 7, 10, 20x gains with a lot of these coins. I'm predicting it by making my wagers in place by having the coins ready to sell at such key levels. But even if it just chops up and down, back and forth, I love that as well because I can profit on those markets as well. Okay, one final coin, most likely anyway, and that'll be AppC, which was a sell at 12.69, and most likely in case another trade comes through, but most likely not in the next few minutes. But it's just interesting how, like, when you look at the time, 17:15, 17:19, 28, 17:31, 35, that 5 different coins all traded, 2 on a buy side, 3 on a buy side, 2 on a sell side. Just magnificent. 12.69 is the sale on AppC. And I missed out big on possible gains as it went up to like 14.4. So now I have to ask myself the question, do I buy back now for mediocre gains and work from this point on? And I do so if I think if I think this come back to where it came from is going to be just that. We can look at this, say, on a 3-hour time frame. Yeah, spotlight this. I'm like, you know what? I'll probably just buy it back now for, again, a mediocre gain. If I got 12.69 on the sale and it's 11.88, that's a differential of like 80 points. So that's like 7-8%. So not much of a gain, but it still is one nonetheless. And we'll look to sell at the 14.49, buy pretty much at the 10 handle. And amongst so on the daily chart, this is an interesting comeback spot again because after leaving the 18 average, pulling back, I expect oftentimes it's going to come back on its first move like this to come back to where it came from. So now we'll see if this is an area of high volume to signify that a decent move is going to follow up the upside, or this being a key top, which will have I'll be at least a while or significant moves lower, at least a while before it comes back, that is, or significant moves lower thereafter. So just quickly take a look at some of these things. Like Poly hasn't. This is an interesting trend. Let me just take a look at where my next buy and sell orders happen to be along this one. And this is one of those tricky situations where 29.44 is my sell order, and the high right now is 29.33. So I just give in and take a sale right now, and then readjust the orders. Let me just take a look at this on some shorter term time frames, and it's starting to flatten out. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So now I have to decide where I want to put my buy and sell orders. As far as a buy order is concerned, this thing came back to 22. And a safe bet might be 2,300. A little pierce above. And that's a decent basis point differential, but given where it is, if it's going to falter from this point, it's almost, to me, a certainty it's going to come back. So the 23 basic level is where I'll put a sell order. And 23.18 was good for me. And as far as where will it go breaking this level of resistance, because if it gets out above here, it's probably going to have a decent sized move. So that's why I like selling now. That I don't want to sell until it has a move maybe even close to this high. This isn't at 35. And the differential for that is 7 basis points on 28. that works out to greater than 20%. So if I even do a decent level below, like say 33.7, that's a pretty good area. So as far as where I'd want to sell this next, you know what, 33.21 sounds good to me. So I'm going to conclude this video now. I'd like to thank you for tuning in. And I'm going to probably do like afternoon, evening videos if there's enough trades going on throughout the day. But as I obviously pointed out from the beginning, I literally had, with dozens of pairings overall, like 4 dozen or so, like close to 50 different pairings on Binance, maybe even closer to 60, that I go from October 25th at 12 o'clock, like 50 hours almost, without a single trade. And one thing I want to talk about too is it's common for me in the past to have a significant amount of orders happen all around the same time. Maybe like say 1700, I get an onslaught, 6, 7, 8 different orders, and 1850 to like 1927, I have a whole bunch of orders, and they're usually because the markets all go up and down together. So I'm either going to be buying pretty much everywhere or selling pretty much everywhere when it happens. But I did find it interesting to finish off dinner and then see that all of these trades work into place. So thank you for tuning in to this evening's video, and I'll be back tomorrow morning with a crypto day morning, and it'll be about 14 hours in time or so, maybe 15 hours. It's a Sunday. I'm not saying I sleep in on Sunday, but I may. But I've been consistently doing videos in the morning, roughly at around 8:30, 9 o'clock, and Saturdays and Sundays would more likely to be later. Today's crypto day morning was at like 9:30 in the morning. But whatever, it's going to be out, and I'll go through whatever trades I have from this point on. Until then, thank you for watching, and have yourself a great day. If you have any questions, or just feel free to make comments. I love reading them in the section below. Thanks for all the ratings. As I get a lot of good thumbs up versus thumbs down ratio on this channel, which is really cool. So anyway, enough of this jibber jabberish. Have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.